Do you struggle to focus or find yourself feeling distracted most of the time? Maybe you're constantly switching between tasks, or your head feels cloudy and restless. Well, if that sounds familiar, you might be suffering with something called brain rot, and it's affecting more people than ever before. Brain rot has become a term which is associated with that mental mush that you feel after too many hours of scrolling on social media. It can be linked to symptoms like feeling foggy or distracted, reduced ability to focus, drained mental energy or clarity, and lack of motivation from meaningful tasks. And I know this feeling way too well because for years I was deep within it myself. My screen time was 9 hours a day, I was addicted to social media, I struggled to be productive, and honestly I pretty much hated my life. But the good news is there is a way out, and recently I stumbled across an article by the neuroscientist Dr. Julie Frattoni where she outlined 4 powerful antidotes to brain rot. That's 3. Funnily enough, these were the exact 4 steps I did many years ago to cure my own brain rot and finally feel like myself again. And so in this video, we're going to dive into Dr. Julie's article, unpack those 4 habits, and discuss how you can also escape brain rot too. So the first habit is rest. Dr. Julie emphasizes that as a society, we don't know how to rest anymore, and honestly, I agree, Dr. Julie. The world has officially gone nuts. Modern day life has become overwhelming for the majority of people. We work non-stop, sleep less hours, chug too much caffeine, and we barely give ourselves a chance to breathe. So the minute that you get a spare second to yourself, what do? You pull out your phone. I see you. You're looking for a quick escape, a quick hit of dopamine, or some quick entertainment. I see so many people who try and justify their bad habit of scrolling by claiming that they're trying to just relax after work after a hard day, or they just need a break because they're tired. But scrolling is not rest, my friend, and honestly, I want to scream this from the mountaintop. Scrolling is not rest! Scrolling is not rest! It's not rest! Instead, it's been shown to make you more stressed. And the reason why is because when you use your phone, no matter if you're going on email, YouTube, or a website, it's very stimulating for the brain. And this activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is also known as your fight or flight. And this is why it can often leave you feeling worse afterwards or even more anxious. And let's be real, you probably already noticed this in yourself, right? After hours of scrolling, you probably don't feel great. I know I certainly didn't when I spent hours on the couch. And that's because when your nervous system is out of balance, your limbic system takes over, which is the part of your brain which handles your emotions and reactions. And at the same time, your prefrontal cortex goes offline, which is the part of your brain associated with thinking clearly and making good decisions. Basically, you get stuck in a rut because your emotions take over and your rational thinking gets shut down. And honestly, I believe as a culture, we need to break this toxic pattern of associating technology with rest. Because many of us have this ingrained idea that if we're scrolling lying down on the couch after work, we're giving ourselves rest. And this is completely illogical and backwards because it's not helping you to relax. And so Dr. Julie says, before you're about to scroll, give your brain a 5 to 10 minute rest. And real rest is a break from stimulation, no technology, no people, no input. Just be, close your eyes, go for a walk, allow your mind to wander, just take some time to do nothing. When we take a quick break and allow our minds space to breathe, this can then help us to gain mental clarity, and then we can choose a healthier activity to engage in compared to scrolling. For example, maybe to cook a new recipe, or to walk the dogs, or learn to play the guitar. Dr. Julie states that practicing rest is essential for long-term brain health and cognitive longevity. The second habit is regulate. The truth is, most adults don't know how to regulate their own emotions, and I think this is so sad because we never get taught this in schools, do we? We get taught algebra and artists' names who I'm never going to remember, but we don't get taught how to deal with our emotions on a day-to-day basis. And so what do we do when we feel an uncomfortable emotion? we try to run away or numb our feelings. At the first hint of boredom or loneliness or stress, we grab our phones to try and distract ourselves. But like I mentioned before, scrolling puts you into the fight or flight system, and so this doesn't help you to regulate your emotions. And in case you aren't familiar with the fight or flight system, try and think of it like this. But back in the old days when we were a caveman and cavewoman, if a lion came to chase you, your fight or flight system would activate in order to protect you. Your brain thinks you're in danger, and so it floods your body with cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and adrenaline, because you're getting ready to either fight the lion or run for your life. And this is what happens when you scroll for hours too. Obviously the intensity isn't the same as running away from a lion, but your brain reacts in a similar way, even if the threat is just a notification on your phone or like a scary headline in the news. And so instead of trying to manage your emotions with scrolling, which as we just discussed keeps you in the fight or flight state, you want to try and shift into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest state. Some personal ways I practice regulating my stress on a daily basis are to do a meditation or yin yoga or some journaling or to go for a gentle walk. These strategies calm your mind and body, ease your stress, and help you to become more calm and grounded, where you can then actually think clearly and feel more in control. Also, just to mention, if you want to learn how to build better habits, improve your discipline, and strengthen your mindset, then click the top link in the video description to check out my one-on-one coaching, where I've helped clients become more productive and more focused, and also calmer and more in control of their own lives. Now, the third habit is to resist instant gratification. Dr. Julie states that your brain has present bias, which is the tendency to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue larger delayed rewards. In other words, your brain prioritizes immediate comfort or survival needs compared to abstract future gains. Some examples of this could include eating a cupcake right now instead of sticking to your meal plan, or binge watching Netflix instead of going to do a workout. Basically, our brains tend to go for the easiest option in the moment because the future isn't real to it yet. The downside of scrolling on social media is that you get hundreds of small dopamine hits, which then reduces your motivation for your long-term goals. And so this makes it harder for you to actually take action on the things that matter and that you truly care about. And so here are 3 ways that Dr. Julie says you can strengthen your delayed gratification muscle. Number 1 is picture the future. For example, imagine a healthier version of you, or imagine the dream life that you want to build. Maybe you want to achieve financial freedom and build up a business, or maybe you want to complete your course and get into your dream job. But by taking the time to think about your future, you're reminding yourself of who you are working towards. And I spoke about this point in more detail in a recent video titled 7 Steps to Build Up Willpower, so go check that out if you want to learn more. Number 2 is to track your progress. Break down your big goals into small steps so that you can celebrate the wins along the way. This is going to help you to keep motivated because you'll feel like you're making progress. Number 3 is to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what do you really need in this moment to rally your prefrontal cortex? For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe it would be better to go out for a walk and to get some fresh air. Or if you're feeling angry and sad, maybe it would be better to contact your friend and have a conversation. And finally, the 4th habit is reflect. It's no shock that we live in the age of information overload. Videos, podcasts, TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, we're being bombarded from every single angle with information. But if you really think about it, half the time you probably don't even remember what you watch or what you learn, right? Dr. Julie points out that the amount of information we see on a daily basis is too much to process or integrate. She states that this constant overload leads us to surface level thinking and can also erode our critical thinking skills. This is why it's so important to take time to reflect on what you consume. And so after engaging with a piece of content, start asking yourself, how can I apply this to my life right now? What's the key takeaway I want to remember? How did this actually add value to my life? By doing this, you're checking in with yourself and making sure that you're actually actually processing what truly matters, instead of just filling your brain with noise and stimulation, which just keeps you in brain rotting mode. And if you reflect and you can't even remember what you watched, or it didn't bring you much value, maybe it's time to reconsider who you are following and what you are consuming. I've linked Dr. Julie's article in the description below for you to check it out if you want, or click here to learn a morning routine for better mental health with proven habits, and I hope this video helped you. All the best.